So let's go over the TourBox Elite Bluetooth controller. We'll go over the product, we'll talk about what I like about it, what can be improved about it, and if you should buy this controller. So let's get into it. So this controller is used for video editing, Photoshop editing, or just any type of software that you need more controls other than just a standard keyboard and mouse. And personally, I use this for video editing in Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro, and spoiler alert, I absolutely love it. I looked at many other controllers on the market, some more expensive, some cheaper, but this one just made the most sense. Reason being, you want a controller that you don't have to look at when you're working on editing or just doing anything with the controller. A lot of these other fancier controllers have all these screens and all these buttons, and while this one does have a lot of buttons, not as many as the other ones, some of the more expensive ones, it's just confusing and you're always looking at the controller itself. You want to have muscle memory and be able to quickly do the tasks that are needed for whatever software you're working on. That is the entire point of a controller, is to do things quicker. This is a productivity tool. So it does have a weird layout. If we look at it here, it has two weird looking buttons here and two normal buttons up here. It has three wheels, a scroll wheel here, one at the top, and one right here. And then it has a D-pad as well as an extra button right below the scroll wheel, and then one button on top, and then one button on the side. And this fits your hand perfectly. You can easily touch all the buttons with your left hand. And I like using it on the left hand because you're using your right hand for the mouse. So this is more of a left-handed control. And what's really great about this and why I chose this and why I knew it would be a good option is just these three different wheels. They can control so many different functions, so many fine-tuned functions, especially in video editing software or Photoshop software. And they're just invaluable having these three scroll wheels in the palm of your hand, but I mean, as well as all these other controls. And the power within this controller is you can have multi-button actions to perform other actions of your choice. And of your choice, you can assign any of these buttons to any function or any macro. Macro meaning you can have a series of commands being executed with a single press of a button. So all these buttons are customizable. You can do combinations of buttons to do different tasks, and you can create macros. So the design of it, having all these controls at your fingertips, not having to look down once you get the muscle memory down of where you put all the different functions that you want, makes this great. And it is a really sturdy build. It feels heavy, much heavier than you would think when picking this up. It does have a premium feel, has a nice slick feel to it. What's also great is these have haptic feedback. So rather than just pushing some scroll wheel that just feels like you're just touching nothing, giving it much more of a enjoyable use with the controller. And you feel like you're doing something meaningful when you're using these scroll wheels. So you can also, again, this is Bluetooth, and you can also connect it to your computer with USB-C output right here. Just plug it into your computer, no problem. So just to show you how powerful this really is, we're going to go into the TourBox Elite software, and I'll just give you a really quick overview of how you can assign things and see what this is actually capable of. Okay, so we're in the TourBox Elite console. So this is where you'll assign all the different controls to all your buttons on the TourBox Elite, as well as set up presets and your macros. So let's just quickly go over the interface. We go to the top right here, we have our preset list, and TourBox gives you default presets that you can adjust, and there are good starting points for all of these different programs that you see here. And then we can see that I've added some of my own custom presets right here. So you can easily create a new preset by clicking this plus sign here, and you can import and export presets as well up here. So we'll just go over my custom preset here, which was based off the Final Cut Pro default preset that TourBox Elite gave me. So let's go over to our main section, separated into the different sections: the rotating section, the Prime 4 section, and then the kit section. Okay, so let's go to one that's not set right now. Okay, perfect. We'll go to this one here, and you can see on the left that it is the side and the top button. And all we have to do to assign a certain action to it is click the not set, and we get multiple options here. We get the shortcuts mouse built in, tour menu, and macro. So the main ones that you're going to want to use are the macro and the shortcuts. You simply just put any shortcut that you want to trigger with this. You can do Command Shift and then P, and then you can add a name here, and then click OK. And then we can see the name of it, and then the tooltip shows the actual key combination, and then again on the left it shows the side and the top button. So that's really easy to adjust. And then we can also just search the application that we're on. So backspace out of that, or click the X button, so that clears out. And then this shows all the different controls, key commands for Final Cut Pro. If you're using another application that's not on this left sidebar here, Premiere Pro, DaVinci, CapCut, Final Cut Pro, then it's not going to have this menu of everything you want to, of everything that you could add, but you can just add the key commands. Again, you can just choose any one of these, so you can put in the key command, or you can just actually just click on the option that you want to add, and you can click OK. And specifically for the haptic only happens for these scroll wheels. So if we go up to the scroll wheels, we can see that there's a haptic for the dial for the bottom left scroll wheel. And we can click that and we can do strong, weak, or off. And then there's also the rotation speed set to fast, medium, or slow. And that's just how fast it'll scroll. So if you want one little tick of the scroll wheel to scroll through more, then you'll use the fast. So it's that easy to assign everything. And then the other option you'll probably want to use is the macro option, and we'll just quickly go over that. We'll just add a macro, type in a name, test. And what's nice about this is you can just add a bunch of actions, and this actions has a menu where you can add in your shortcuts, your keyboard shortcuts. So let's say we wanted to do Command Option P as one of our macros, and you can do how many times it repeats. You just click OK. So when you click on the test, the side and top button, it'll perform this action, the Command Option P, and then we can add another action. That's what makes this a macro, having a series of actions. And we can add something like a mouse move, so just moving the mouse somewhere automatically, a button on the mouse, so we can have it go to a location and then left click. We can have it do a command left click. Again, the repetitions, we can have it do a scroll, and we can drag something as well to a certain position from and to. And you can just click on that, and then it'll show you where you are on your screen, and just press any key on the TourBox Delete to save that position, and you can see the position is right here. You can also set a delay, so delay between actions. So let's say after we do the Shift Option P, we want to delay it 1 second and then do something else. We can have that delay, and we can do text. So example, we can put in the text hello. That'll put it into whatever field that you have selected on your screen. So this text hello wouldn't work if you didn't have a text field selected. You can also do, you can open a certain file on your hard drive as well. And again, all of these can be combined to as many as you want. That's what makes this so powerful. So you can combine a bunch of different keyboard shortcuts and mouse movements and anything with the mouse, as you have seen, to the application you're working on, and create something that is an action that you perform a lot. That's what these macros are great for. Oftentimes you're doing multiple key commands and movements that are repetitive, so mapping these to the macros is great. So that's just a quick overview of the TourBox console, just to get you going and see what's possible with it. There are more functions and features of the TourBox software, but this will keep you up and get you up and running, and just gives you a good idea of what you can expect. So you can see that this is incredibly powerful. Again, I love it just because it has so many controls in this small little interface. It looks weird, it looks like just a bunch of random controls, but once you get the workflow down, it is amazing. And that's the one thing with this that I don't know if I've necessarily changed, because there's no real way to change it, but there is a little bit of a learning curve. Using the software is not that much of a learning curve. It's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory, as you've seen, but just getting faster with your workflow, with how you set up this controller, does take a little bit of time. So that stupid saying, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, applies here. But I can tell you, I am absolutely more productive with this. So if you want to save time, this is a controller that you should absolutely pick up. It is well worth it and you will not regret it. Just spend time setting this up and use it and practice with it and refine your workflow, and you'll just be incredibly fast when working. So be sure to check out the Amazon link in the description, and good luck with anything that you use this on.